Hi guys, how are you all doing? Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we are going to be learning how to make, and if you're not subscribed to my channel, please do well to keep watching, like, share and comment on my videos. Let's get started. So the first thing I did was to draft it on a pattern paper for easy illustration. So we're going to do the drafting process first, and in my pattern paper, as you can see, I have my pattern paper. I came down by 1/2 inch and I marked the straight line and labeled it my shoulder line. So this is my shoulder line. On the center line of the pattern paper, I came in by 2 inches and I will call it my button allowance because we are making the front piece first. So here now is my button allowance. So the next thing to do is to divide my shoulder by 2. Remember that all measurements will start from the new button allowance line. So I'll come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope, and for my neck weight I'll go in by 3.5 inch. All measurements will start from the new button allowance line. I will mark my shoulder slope. So the next thing I'm going to do is to divide my armhole by 2, and what I have here is 8. I'm going to extend the line like this, and it's going to be my chest line. So I'm going to connect my armhole line to my shoulder line, and this is my chest line. Okay, the new line is my chest line. So next is to place my tape on a straight line, and I'm going to mark my bust point, my under bust point, which is 3 inches after my bust point. Okay, and my waist point, and then from that waist I'll come down by 9 inches as my full length. After that, I'm going to connect the lines together and label them. Okay, so this is my bust point, my under bust point, my waist and my full length. On the neckline, I'm going to come down by 3.5 inches as my neck depth, then connect it to the 3.5 inches neck width I have. Next, I'm going to divide my nipple to nipple by 2. My nipple to nipple is 8, by 2 is 4, and I'm marking it down from my bust point all the way to the full length, and then I'll connect the lines together like so. So after that, I am going to go on my armhole point. I'm going to divide my armhole line by 2. My armhole line by 2 is 4. So I'm going to mark it down and then come down by 1/2 inch and also mark it. So I'll go in by 1 inch on my under bust, my waist and my full length, and I'll connect it like this. So next is to connect from my under bust to my bust point and then connect it to the second line, of the armhole. So after that, I am going to come out by 1 inch for extension. Okay, for princess dart extension. So I'll go in by 1/2 inch for my armhole curve for the front piece. Okay, and then I'll start placing down my measurement. So on my chest now, I'll divide my bust point divide by 4 plus 1.5 inch allowance. I didn't add the 1.5 inch allowance, but I'm still going to add it. On my bust, I'm going to put down the same measurement I have on my chest line, and I'll add 1.5 inch allowance. I didn't want to add allowance at first, but I've started adding it now. So I'll add the 1.5 inches allowance. And my underbust, I'll divide my underbust divide by 4 plus 1.5 inch allowance. 2.5 inch allowance, I think. That's what I did there. I added like 2.5 inches allowance there. So on this side, that's my underbust. Remember, we're going to add the darts that we remove. So I added the darts, 1 inch dart that we remove. Okay, so remember to be adding the dart that you're going to cut out. So my waist divide by 4 plus the dart that we removed, the 1 inch dart, I added it back plus 2.5 inch allowance. On my hip, I'm going to extend the allowance because I want it to be big. I want it to have space on the hip. So I added the 1 inch that I removed. I added 3.5 inches allowance on the hip. So now I am going to connect the lines together like so. So after connecting it together, this is what we have. So I'm going to divide my shoulder by 2. Okay, so this is where I'm going to be dividing by 2, and what I have there is about 2.5 inch. Okay, I'll connect it to my bust point like this. Then on each side of that I'll go in by 1/2 inch for my dart and connect it to my bust point like this. And once I'm done, the next thing I'm going to do is to create our side dart. After creating the shoulder dart, you create your side dart. On the bust line, I came down by 1 inch and then connect it to my bust point like this. That is for my side dart. It's going to be removed. And on the waist, I came down by 3 inches, and on the full length, I went in by 1.5 inch and then connect it like this. So that's going to be my curve for the front piece. On the side, I'm going to create my side curve. I went up by 2.5 inch, okay, and then curve it like this. So that's going to be my side curve. So that is it for the front piece, okay. So we're going to start cutting it out. When cutting it out, when you get here, just open it up like this and close up the dart like this. Okay, just close it up like this and use a tape to hold. For the shoulder dart, I am going to open it up like this on one side of the dart that I created, and then overlap it like this just to close the dart, and also use a tape to hold it down. Okay, so this is how to close my shoulder dart. So for the side front, I am going to, on the waistline, I'm going to come down by 1 inch just to tell you guys that there is going to be a pocket, a side pocket. Okay, so now I have the front piece ready, so let's work on the back piece. So this is the back piece, just like we did in the front piece, but this one does not have a button allowance. So I created my nipple to nipple by 2, which is 4 inches. I marked it from the bust point all the way down to the full length. Now I'm going to, on the waistline, I'll go in by 1 inch on each side of the waistline. Okay, waistline nipple to nipple point, and I'll connect the lines like this. Okay, so this is my back dart. So after that, on my armhole point, I am going to divide it by 2 as well, which is 4, and I'll go in by, I'll come down by ½ inch like we did in the front piece, extend it by 1 inch. Remember, it has a 1 inch extension, and from the bust point, I'll just mark it like this, connect it to the second line, and extend the 1 inch as well, just like we did in the front piece. Okay, so now after doing so, remember that the neck depth of my back piece is 1.5 inch. That's the neck depth, and the neck width is 3.5 inches. So I'm putting down my bust circumference divided by 4 plus 2.5 inches allowance on the chest line. That's my bust point. I'll do the same thing on my bust point. My bust divided by 4 plus 2.5 inches allowance. So my under bust, I'll divide my under bust divided by 4 plus 2.5 inch allowance, and I'll add that allowance as well, just like we did in the front piece. Okay, and on the full length, I'll add the 3.5 inches allowance and then connect the lines together. So that is it for the back piece. For the shoulder, I'm going to create the shoulder dart as well, because we did it in the front piece. So for the shoulder dart, I'll divide my shoulder width divided by 2.5 inch, mark it down, connect it to the bust point, and then mark ½ inch on each side of the shoulder dart. Okay, and then connect it to the bust point as well, like this. So we have created our shoulder dart. So I'm going to create my side curve. By the side, I'll go up by 2 inches for my side curve, and I'll connect it to the center line like this in a slanted way. So that is it. I will now cut out the back piece. So this is all we have for the back piece of this waistcoat. Also remember to close up the shoulder dart like this, just the way we did in the front piece, and use a tape to hold it down like so. So that is it for the back piece, and then the next thing to do is to work on the side front. Okay, we are going to be working on the side front. On the side front, at the waist line, I am going to cut it open, and after cutting it open, I'm going to bring a 1 inch piece like this, and just 1 inch piece like this. That is going to be the allowance, I'll place it on top of the upper side of the side piece. It's going to be for the allowance of the pocket that we're going to be using, so that when I'm cutting it on the main fabric, it will have extra 1 inch allowance separately there. So I'm doing this because I don't want to forget the allowance when I am cutting it out on the main fabric. So now we are going to start cutting out on the main fabric, and here I am done cutting out on the fabric. This is all we have. Okay, for the center front, I am cutting out the dart for the center front. I forgot to cut it out when I was cutting on the pattern paper. I gave like half inch allowance on each of the patterns. As you can see, it has like half inch allowance on each of them. So now I am going to work on the side front of the front piece. That's the place that I cut into too. Okay, that is the pocket. That's where I'm going to work on. But before we start working on the side front, make sure that anyone you cut the lining as well. So as you can see, this is the back piece. Okay, so the back piece is cut on fold. The back piece is cut on fold. I have the one piece for the main fabric and one piece for the lining. So this is for the main fabric and this is for the lining. So that is how I cut it. And for the side back, I have 4 of it. 2 for the front piece, that's the main lining. This is the main fabric and this is the lining. 2 also, making it 4. 2 for the lining and 2 for the main piece. So for the center front, this is the center front. It is cut into 2 because of the button allowance. Okay, now it is not cut on fold, it is open. I opened the center front for the slit of the button. So it has 4 pieces, 2 for the lining and 2 for the main piece. As you can see, this is it. This is the main piece and this is the lining. Okay, so that is what we did all the way. So for the side front, I have the piece here which I have already cut. This is the allowance that I told you that I'm going to forget when I'm cutting it. So the extra pattern helped me to cut the allowance. Okay, so I'm going to notch the allowance line so that when I'm joining it, I will know where to join. This is the lining of the side front. As you can see on the lining, I did not cut it into half. It is on a straight line. So the lining is straight and the main piece is cut into half. So also do that as well. So it's time to join the back piece, and I'm going ahead to join the main piece of the back piece. So let's join the lining. Let me teach you how to join the lining. This is the center piece of the back. Okay, I'll place the side piece, right side facing right side, on top of it like this, and I will use my pin to hold it. So when I go to my machine, I will use half inch to sew on it like this, following the pinned area. Okay, I will use half inch to sew. That is what I'm going to do. So after joining, I went ahead to iron it, and this is what I got. Okay, this is the lining and this is the main piece. So I'll keep this by the side and let's work on the front piece. For the front piece, this is the lining of the front piece. I'll go ahead and join the lining. Okay, first of all, because on the main piece we're going to be working on the side pocket. So I'll place the front piece right side facing right side like this on each side of the front piece, and I will use half inch to join it just the way we did at the back. So I'll keep the lining by the side and work on the main piece. This is the main fabric. Okay, so I'll keep the center and let's work on the side front. So remember, the side front has a pocket. So I went ahead to cut the inner pocket and the cover pocket. This is the cover pocket and this is the inner pocket. So the cover pocket is 2.5 inches in length, and the width is about 7 inches. Okay, I am going to bring the pocket cover and I'll place it on the down part of the side front and pin it down. Use 1/2 inch to sew on top of it, like so. Okay, I'll do the same on the other side and I'll come back and show you guys. Now after joining, this is what we have. The next thing I'm going to do is to open up the seam allowance of my pocket cover like this. I'll bring one side of the pocket and attach it like this. Okay, I'm going to pin it up like this and I will sew on that same seam allowance, okay, to have a neat finishing. So the other side of the pocket, I'm going to place it like this on the upper side of the side front and I'll attach it. That is why we created that 1 inch allowance. Okay, that is why we created the 1 inch allowance. I will place it on top of the 1 inch allowance and I will sew on top of it with 1 inch. That the upper side is going to be sewn with 1/2 inch, not 1 inch, 1/2 inch, and the remaining 1/2 inch you are going to see what we are going to do with it. So I repeated the same process on the other side of the side front. Okay, and after doing so, I will sew on them and then I'll come back and show you how we are going to do it. But before that, I'm going to finish up on one side and I will use the other side to teach you on how to do it. All right, let's get started. Okay, now as you can see, I am done joining one side of the side pocket. It came out so beautiful, it came out so neat. So I am going to show you how I achieved all this using the other side to teach you how I achieved it. After attaching the pocket with 1/2 inch, okay, making a neat finishing, as you can see, it came out so good. I'm going to place it like this. That's the down part of the side front on top of the front side of this upper side of the side front like this. Okay, making sure that they are the same thing with the other side that I've already done. Okay, I'm just making sure that they are aligned together. Then I'm going to use my pin to hold it down to the main fabric like this and like this. Then open up the downside like this and I will sew the pocket separately. The inside pocket, I'll sew it separately around, okay, and do some adjustment. I'll just cut off the excesses, some excesses down there, and I'll sew around like this, making sure that the main fabric is covered, like the way you cannot see the one that I've already done. As you can see, you cannot see the side, the pocket, inside pocket, because I've already cut out the excesses, okay, coming out from there. And as you can see, after joining, this is what I have. Okay, the two came out so beautiful. Okay, so we are going to attach it to the center front now. So I'm going to bring one side of my center front and I will place it right side facing right side and I will use 1/2 inch to join it, just the way we did at the lining piece. I'm going to use 1/2 inch to join it all the way to the end. So after joining the two sides, this is what I have. So the next thing I'm going to do is to bring the back piece, place it on top of the front piece, okay, right side facing right side, and just join the shoulders. So after joining the shoulders, I also put down my measurement and I have to sew like this, okay, and close the shoulders together as well. So I'm not going to close the button allowance, I just created the space for the button allowance. I just want to make sure that that is where my button allowance is going to start from. That is why I'm just marking down the chart, but I'm not going to sew there. I just want to know where my button allowance is going to start from. Then close up the shoulders, okay, and then I will come back and show you what it looks like. Then for the lining, I will do the same thing for the lining. I'll join the back piece and the front piece of the lining as well, do some adjustment, shape the excesses, just cut out some excesses on the linings, and put down my measurements and just sew on it. Then I'll show you the next step, guys. So after joining, make sure you're using your measurement tool and you're checking it to know whether it sized you very well. So after that, the next thing I'm going to do is to open up the lining and place the main piece to the lining and then join them like so. So I pinned it all in circles, including the armhole, and this is how I'm going to join it. Okay, I'm going to join it with 1/2 inch all the way around it, the neckline, everywhere, the excess allowance, the armhole. I'm just going to close up all the space and open up here and then turn it from there. Okay, so let's go. So after doing so, I also went ahead to turn it from the dark space, and this is what I have. It came out so beautiful. Okay, I opened it up from the shoulder as well because the shoulder was not able to come out, so I opened the shoulders as well for it to come out. So now this is what I have. It came out so beautiful. Okay, so I'm just putting down the buttons so that you guys can see the beauty. So if you watch up to this moment, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like, share and comment on my videos. So this is the end result. Came out so beautiful. See you guys in my next video. Bye.